The movie I'm going to talk about today involves shady corporations and hackers trying to get somebody's information, so big thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. That's right, Surfshark VPN, a virtual private network that protects your data using military-grade encryption, keeping all your info safe and helping make sure your private info stays private. That means nobody can see what you're doing online, including that one thing you really don't want people to know about. You know the thing I'm talking about. Having a VPN can really come in handy if you're traveling. Depending on where you are, you might not be able to access certain sites, but with Surfshark you can change your IP address at the push of a button. It's also great for getting access to content that might be blocked in your country. For example, I'm Canadian and here we don't have Hulu, but using Surfshark all I have to do is change my location to the United States, and like that, I've got Hulu. And if you're thinking that using a VPN might be expensive, don't worry, because I have a promo code. Just click the link in the description below or use the promo code TENOL to get 83% off plus 3 extra months for free. Surfshark also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk to try it out. Alright, now let's start the show. Okay, so it's the mid-90s, the internet's really starting to pop off, and Hollywood is falling all over themselves to make movies about cyberspace, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, all that stuff. And one of the most notable movies made during that time was Johnny Mnemonic, not because it was a big hit that was culturally influential, but because it influenced a later movie that was a big hit and culturally influential. Hey, that's better than nothing, right? Johnny Mnemonic is a 1995 Canadian-American cyberpunk movie that's mainly known today for being that other 90s cyberpunk action film starring Keanu Reeves that isn't The Matrix. That's not entirely fair though, since the Wachowskis are on record as saying that this movie actually served as an inspiration for The Matrix, and it's not only based on a short story from the godfather of cyberpunk, William Gibson, who wrote one of the cornerstones of the genre with Neuromancer, but Gibson even wrote the screenplay for the movie himself. Well, sort of. Gibson would later say that the final film changed his script so much that it was no longer his story, but his name's in the credits, so let's just say he wrote it. This was also the first and so far only movie directed by Robert Longo, who's best known for being an artist, and supposedly Longo and Gibson originally wanted Johnny Mnemonic to be a low-budget art film, but when they weren't able to get funding for that, they said, okay, fine, we'll make it a $26 million action movie. It was also one of the first films to extensively use the internet as part of its promotion, although this didn't seem to help much since not only was the movie's box office disappointing, but it also got absolutely savaged by critics, with many calling it one of the worst movies of 1995. Yeah, I haven't looked into it, but I bet if I did some digging, I could find way worse movies that were released that year. Who knows, I might even do some of them on this show someday. But since its release, and especially since the release of The Matrix, it's gained a cult following and is even considered by some to be a prime time capsule of 90s cyberpunk. Well, sounds like a perfect candidate for this show. Been a while since I did a movie with a decent budget that actually got a major theatrical release on this show. So anyway, the movie takes place in the far future year of 2021! Here they explain that global megacorporations run everything, there's some weird new disease causing social disruption, and large segments of the population have gotten increasingly fed up with elites, so... Actually, this didn't do a bad job of predicting the future. Of course, it's still a 90s movie, which means that the internet is some futuristic Blade Runner-esque city that you fly through in order to navigate it. Somewhere Bob is busy protecting this place from Megabyte. Anyway, Keanu Reeves plays Johnny, a courier who transports sensitive data by uploading it directly into his brain, because I guess they don't have thumb drives in this version of 2021. And even though this movie came out before The Matrix...
Going out?
Just getting some ice.
We've got... ice.
Keanu's acting is still in full, whoa, mode here.
Pick it up, Ralphie.
Ooh, hey, this hotel gets the Udo Kier channel. In order to make room in his head for the data storage device, Johnny had to lose all of his childhood memories, but his agent Ralphie says that if he does one last big job, he'll be able to have it removed.
I want a full restoration. I want it all back.
Hey, careful, Johnny. I don't know if you want all your memories back. I mean, that does include even Cowgirls Get the Blues. Wait a second. People wearing masks? Mass protests? Tensions with China? Damn, if they had set this movie in 2020, they would have nailed it. While this movie is definitely less influential than The Matrix, I actually think the mind link-up technology in this is more realistic. In The Matrix, hooking your brain up to a computer meant using this big, honkin' industrial-looking thing that seemed impractical. Here, I can actually picture something like this existing one day. What's less realistic is some of the effects here. Yeah, I don't think these are gonna be getting an Oscar. By the way, I'll try to avoid bringing up The Matrix too much in this video, but...
You are Mr.
Smith.
sometimes this movie makes that really hard. Oh, and remember when I said earlier that this was a big job?
How much am I carrying?
320 gigabytes. Your storage capacity.
More than adequate.
Bet this guy doesn't even have a terabyte in that noggin of his.
If the upload volume exceeds your storage capacity, synaptic seepage can kill you in 2 or 3 days.
Look, just get him to empty his brain's recycle bin, I'm sure it'll be fine. Even though some of the technology here is actually reasonably forward-looking for 1995, the CGI they use is a lot more dated. This looks like the ending of Windows 2001: A Space Odyssey. Oh my god, it's full of data! And hey, while I'm doing Keanu voice...
Where's the bathroom?
What?
The toilet.
I had Kung Pao. Jesus, Johnny, I warned you about overclocking your brain. Running Quake at the highest settings was not worth it. Oh, another important fact about this future. The mega corporations that run everything hire the Yakuza to do their dirty work. Because come on, it's a 90s cyberpunk movie. You gotta have some Yakuza. This movie may not have bullet time, but it does have plenty of bullets. Also, like The Matrix, there's a strong anime influence here, although this movie makes it a little more obvious. There is one thing this movie has that The Matrix didn't, though. Laser dental floss. Alright, I guess it's technically supposed to be more like a laser whip, but come on. It looks like dental floss. Johnny manages to get away, but he only has part of the access code to the information in his head.
Where is he taking the data?
Newark!
Ah yes, Newark, New Jersey. Lovely, lovely Newark, New Jersey. Actually, this is a Canadian co-production, so I'm gonna guess this was filmed in Vancouver? Toronto. Damn it, that would have been my second guess. We've already had one cult movie actor with Udo Kier, but check this out, the movie has Beat Takeshi himself, Takeshi Kitano. Beat Takeshi, Japanese actor, Sonatine, Zatoichi. I gotta do more Beat Takeshi movies on this channel. Takeshi plays Takahashi, okay, who runs a corporation called Pharmacom that desperately wants the information that's in Johnny's head.
I'm not at liberty to say.
Fappening iCloud leaks. I knew it! Even though some of the effects here are a little iffy, I gotta admit I do kinda like the mix of high-tech and grungy that a lot of 90s cyberpunk movies had. This was back before all sci-fi movies had to look like an Apple store. And did somebody say celebrity cameo?
Butter, I need to get some work.
About these episodes you've been having.
Whoa, Jello Biafra's in this movie? Yep, that's Henry Rollins as Spider, probably named after one of Henry's tattoos. And we've also got Dina Meyer as Jane, who was actually a substitute for a different character called Molly Millions from the original short story that the filmmakers couldn't get the rights to. Oh well, we still got Dina Meyer as a tough cyberpunk chick. I'm okay with that. Jane wants to be Udo's bodyguard, but he doesn't want her because... I don't know, he's fine with the drag queen bodyguards he already has? Please don't do that again. Oh, and we've also got Ice-T in this movie, playing what I can only assume is his character from Tank Girl before he got mutated into a kangaroo. Anyway, Johnny goes to meet his contact at the swankiest 5-star hotel in Newark, but uh-oh, looks like it's a trap.
Time to die. Time?
Ooh, nice, he got away using a cool trailer moment. However, Baldy makes a mistake when he shoots Cyberpunk Rufio here and pisses off Ice-T.
You weren't on the menu.
I didn't know this place served iced tea.
I want you to do something for me. Say bye.
You know, dude, if you would just shoot people instead of always trying to get a one-liner in, you probably wouldn't be dead right now.
Who are you?
I'm J-Bone. I run Heaven, the low-tech headquarters.
Yeah, and judging by how he disappears, Ice-T's also Batman. Oh well, we got even more weird cameos to get to, since this movie also has veteran Canadian actor Don Franks, who's apparently playing a hipster version of Dr. Claw. Well, that fits, I guess, considering Don Franks was also sometimes the voice of Dr. Claw. And here's a shock, who could have possibly guessed Udo Kier would betray Johnny? He always seems so trustworthy.
Not on the head!
What'd they upload, Ralphie? The goddamn Library of Congress.
Even more important, Johnny, it's every Roger Corman movie that's on the Internet Archive. Those need to be preserved. They plan to cut Johnny's head off and cryogenically freeze it. That way they can get the data and Keanu can be a guest on Futurama. What the hell is Johnny gonna do? Hey, ever wanted to see Dina Meyer fight a bunch of cyberpunk drag queens? I never knew I wanted that until I saw this movie.
What the fuck is going on?
Good question, Udo. And listen, Jane, throwing a nail into a guy's head is pretty cool, but it's still not as cool as the laser dental floss.
You could have fucking killed me!
See? What'd I tell you? Oh, a nice job, pal. You killed Udo Kier. Now we're down to only like 6 weird cameos in this movie. Johnny and Jane managed to get away with a little help from Ice-T and the cast of Mad Max Jersey Road.
Back door.
Thanks, J-Bone.
You LoTeks will regret this.
Whoa. Did you just say the L word? That is their term, dude. You cannot use it. At least now we finally learn how much storage Johnny's got.
I can carry nearly 80 gigs of data in my head. 160 if I use a doubler.
See? Told you this guy didn't even have a terabyte. Probably got an old graphics card in that head, too. In any case, Johnny better get that extra data out. It's causing him to go full, "Oi, nice lady!" Because this was directed by someone with ties to the art world, there's some artsy touches here and there. For example, if you're wondering why Takahashi wants the info Johnny's carrying.
Takahashi, they know that your purpose in life has been lost. The courier, what he carries, can give you a new purpose in life.
He wants it because a computer ghost angel thingy told him to get it? What the hell was that? Whatever, let's learn more about Johnny's backstory.
So how do you fit all that shit in your head anyway?
Implant. Wet wired. I had to dump a chunk of long-term memory.
Yeah, well, whether it's Keanu or Wolverine, both your origins involve growing up in Canada. Regarding Keanu's acting in this movie, it's pretty standard 90s Keanu stuff. Nothing too embarrassing. I mean, at least he's not attempting a British accent here, but...
I think I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need a computer!
There's times where it gets oddly William Shatner-y. Well, if Johnny's gonna get online and surf the internet, or fly through it, or whatever they do in 90s movies, he's gonna need some equipment.
I need a Sinologic 16, a GPL stealth module, 1 Birdine intelligent translator, and Thomson iPhones.
Wait, did he just say iPhones?
Thomson iPhones.
Huh. Okay, I always kind of figured Johnny would be more of an Android guy. Oh wait, they said iPhones, not iPhones, but still, that is a pretty neat coincidence. Alright, time for Johnny to Oculus Rift his way through cyberspace. I am interfaced! Huh, the CGI during these parts kinda reminds me of The Lawnmower Man. You know, if it was a way less shitty movie. So while Johnny's busy learning the Cyber Macarena, he learns that the information in his head is a bunch of important pharmacom data. But uh-oh, turns out the bad guys are tracking him and send a virus. Huh, guess he should have used a VPN. What is he gonna do?
Johnny. Hurry, Johnny. They're coming.
Okay, seriously, is that thing supposed to be a computer angel? Cause that's really what it seems like. Don't worry about the Yakuza though. A Barbie Malibu dream grenade ought to take care of him.
Inform Takahashi. His tracker was late in locating the courier.
Hey, don't worry about it, man. You still got your laser floss, and that's what's really important. With no other options, Takahashi is forced to take desperate measures to get Johnny.
I need your services.
We hold services nightly. You should join us.
Yeah, that's right. He hires Dolph motherfucking Lundgren to go get him. Dolph plays Carl, a kind of street preacher slash hired assassin. And like Keanu, while Dolph is another actor who's sometimes accused of being stilted and unemotive, here...
You need someone brought to Jesus?
And who is this lost soul, this sinner unrepentant?
He's a lot more flamboyant than usual. Meanwhile, Johnny decides to directly contact the pharmaceutical megacorporation whose information he's smuggling in his head. Sounds like a smart idea.
You're crazy, man. They're gonna chop your fucking head off.
No, they'll negotiate. They're corporate.
Yeah, that just means they'll chop your head off and then use the rest of your body to make McNuggets, Johnny. But uh-oh, looks like there's something wrong with Jane.
You strung out or what? You got NAS!
Oh yeah, they did say there was a plague at the beginning, didn't they? Kinda forgot about that. Johnny takes her to see Spider, but I don't think playing damaged is gonna help her.
It's NAS, right?
Yeah, the black shake. Like half the people on the planet.
Wait, half the world has it? Kinda weird that it only came up at the halfway point then.
What causes it?
This causes it. This causes it. This causes it. Information overload.
Okay, come on, Henry. I know I said not to play Black Flag, but your spoken word stuff is not gonna help here either.
Who the fuck are you anyway?
Johnny.
Johnny who?
Just Johnny.
Oh, what, you're not gonna make me do the title drop gag here? We also get another appearance from the computer angel, and it turns out that's sorta what she is. She's an artificial intelligence based on Pharmacom's founder.
She was imprinted to Pharmacom's neural net installation in Zurich prior to onset of morbidity.
Bordeco.
No, Ghost in the Machine is another 90s sci-fi movie involving computers. By the way, I just realized Dolph Lundgren's usually second build on the posters next to Keanu, and so far we haven't seen much of him.
They err in vision, they stumble in judgment. For all the tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean.
This is one of the weirdest roles Dolph's ever done. He's like a combination of Moses and his own version of the Punisher. Hey man, my claw!
The girl that took Ralphie's boy out of the back room? Who is she?
You expect me to remember half the shit?
I just want to point out, this was the last theatrical movie Dolph was in until the release of The Expendables in 2010. I don't know why. I guess the world just wasn't ready to see him as a killer preacher assassin. And in case you're still not sold on how badass Dolph Lundgren is...
Hold, sinners! Fuck!
Spider, look out!
Jesus.
He shrugs off getting run over by an armored car driven by Henry Rollins. Spider takes Johnny and Jane to a place where people are treated for NAS, and just think, if this were the real 2021, they'd all be going through fentanyl withdrawal. Even though they still don't have a way to safely extract the data without damaging him, we finally learn just what Johnny's smuggling in his head.
Let's just start with what you got in there and what it's worth. What it's worth to the world. You're carrying the cure for NAS.
It's not a cure, it's just all those ice bucket challenge videos people did a few years ago. And I'll tell you something there's definitely no cure for: getting fucked up by Dolph Lundgren.
The cure is mine!
You are all sinners. I must save you. Johnny and Jane managed to get away, but Spider ain't so lucky. This is for breaking up Rollins' band, asshole. Meanwhile, Johnny phones Pharmacom, informing them that he has the cure. But uh-oh, turns out the guy Johnny was talking to was actually a VTuber this whole time. No, for real, this movie sorta predicted VTubers. The only difference is that it's not a cute anime girl on screen here. And what the hell? Where are they going? Dark City? Oh, my mistake, it's actually Waterworld.
What the fuck is going on?
Hey, relax, man, I'm just making 90s movie references. And again, about Keanu's acting.
You see that city over there? That's where I'm supposed to be. Not down here with the dogs and the garbage and the fucking last month's newspapers blowing back and forth!
Aw shit, he's going full Nick Cage.
I want room service! Have you ever been dragged to the sidewalk and until you pissed blood? I want the club sandwich. I want the cold Mexican beer. I want a $10,000 a night hooker. I'll show you
Eddie.
a fucking hothead,
Eddie,
man.
put the gun down, man.
fast!
Alright, you know what? If The Matrix can make a famous movie line out of whoa, then I say this movie can do the same with I Want Room Service. Anyway, Johnny sees J-Bone and the LoTeks to see if they can help him get the Pharmacom data out of his head. But for some good news, looks like you've got a third act romance going with Jane.
It's time to meet Jones.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ice Cock Block. I brought up that the Wachowskis said that this movie influenced The Matrix, and yeah, there's definitely some parts where you can see it, but I'll tell you something The Matrix didn't have: dolphins.
Jones.
It's a fish.
Now great, you hooked up the dolphin from Sequest to a bunch of tubes. Sequest, it was a show back in the 90s about a submarine. Anybody else remember that? No? Just me? Okay. Jones is actually a hacker that's going to extract the info from Johnny's brain, I guess because Beppo the cyber chimp wasn't available. However, Takahashi sends a bunch of his Yakuza goons to go get him, and you know what that means? More laser floss.
See what I'm saying, buddy?
That is still awesome. Alright, there's 20 minutes left, which means it's time for our big action climax. Except instead of Keanu stopping bullets, we get Ice-T crossbowing women in the mouth. You just got iced, bitch. Big action movie explosions aren't exactly William Gibson's forte, but they have aged a lot better than the CGI portions of the movie that resemble artsy video game cutscenes. And speaking of video games... Oh, Jesus, I recognize who this is.
Where did you learn to fly?
Okay, time to take a massive exposition dump. Turns out the AI ghost isn't just Pharmacom's founder, but also Johnny's mother. Takahashi actually didn't know Johnny was carrying the cure for NAS, but the Yakuza guys do and betray Takahashi so Pharmacom can keep profiting off of treating the disease instead of curing it. And if you're wondering if any of this was in the original short story, no, it isn't. Weirdly enough though, the dolphin was. And no dice, pal, you won't be getting Johnny's head this time.
Decapitation!
Okay, looks like that takes care of all the bad guys, and Johnny gets the rest of the passcode from Takahashi, so looks like everything's okay.
Jesus time.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Dolph. He killed Henry Rollins and then sorta disappeared for a little bit. Oh well, I'm glad he's back. Jesus loves you, but I don't have to. Oh, and do you want to know how Dolph Lundgren dies in this movie? In a kind of awesome, but mostly really silly way. Damn, first Dolph Lundgren was He-Man and now he's Skeletor.
Johnny.
Oh, Jesus, lady, just leave us alone. We're almost at the end. Okay, so Johnny's gotta hack his own brain and send it through the dolphin or something. I don't know. The point is we get more CGI. This animation may seem quaint today, but it was a good way to promote the Panasonic 3DO tie-in game at the same time. Okay, I've said that some of the future technology here is actually not that bad for a 90s movie, but... Yeah, this part is pretty dated. Actually, it kinda reminds me of those Short Circuit's Mind's Eye shorts that used to air on YTV, which was basically the Canadian version of Nickelodeon back in the 90s. Anybody else remember those? Let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Hey, it worked. I think. And so, the Pharmacom MacGuffin data is flushed from Johnny's brain, the world now has a cure for NAS, and Johnny gets his childhood memories back, including that one of his uncle molesting him that he was probably better off forgetting. Take that, big Pharmacom. But the movie's not over yet. Just look what happens next. Aw shit, are we gonna get resurrected zombie Lundgren?
Just garbage. Get that out of here.
Alright, you know what? Fuck you, movie. You promised something awesome and didn't deliver. By the way, that's pretty much how the movie ends, on a fake-out gag and a line from Ice-T. Johnny Mnemonic is often called a box office bomb, but that's not exactly true. It did make about twice its production budget back. However, this was still way below the studio's expectations, and like I said, the movie got panned by critics, with some calling it Johnny Moronic. Alright, well there's one Leslie Nielsen parody movie I would have been curious to see. see. While it's still not exactly considered good, it has gotten a bit of a cult following since its release, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, just look at the cast. This was practically destined to get a cult following. How many movies can you name that have Dolph Lundgren as a cyborg preacher assassin? Johnny Mnemonic is definitely flawed. While the CGI portions might have been neat at the time, today they come across as very dated and silly. And there's so many weird ideas crammed in here that the story can get pretty disjointed and unfocused at times, although apparently the Japanese cut of the movie is more fleshed out and closer to William Gibson's original vision. Okay, so between this movie and Gunhead, what is with Japan always getting the better version of Cyberpunk movies? Despite all its problems though, it's hard for me to hate a movie that has stuff like cyborg dolphin hackers, laser dental floss, and Dolph Lundgren with a crucifix knife, and it's definitely an interesting snapshot of the time when the internet and hacker culture started to become mainstream and noticed by Hollywood. If you have a soft spot for Cyberpunk like me and are curious where the Matrix came from, give this one a look. And hey, who knows, hopefully the internet can help make this
I want room service!
into a quotable movie line. Well, that's all for now. Until next time.
I told her if she want to get with me, then I want to get with her. And screw the physical disability. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about the feeling, right?